Seems to be good. Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Mara Southorn, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. This is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into this space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. If you would like to explore ways to connect and get involved, please stop by the newcomer welcome after the service in the lower annex, or contact Tina Lewis, Director of Membership and Engagement. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat, and if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning.
Together, we light this chalice to center ourselves in this sacred moment. We call upon the ancestors, those who tended the flame before us. We call upon our children, whose brilliant spark reminds us to seek out courage and challenge. We call upon one another to remind us we are never alone on the journey. We call upon ourselves to hear the call of this flame and to nurture it with love.
Good morning, everybody. I am so delighted to see you on this beautiful day. I am Swamini Adityananda Saraswati. I'm actually a member of this church, but you haven't seen me in a while because I've been the intern minister at the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale with Reverend Beth, who you met perhaps over the winter, and at First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego. So now I am back in the nest, and this is a special day. We'd like to open today with a poem by Anne Hillman. We look with uncertainty. We look with uncertainty beyond the old choices for clear-cut answers to softer, more permeable aliveness, which is every moment at the brink of death. For something new is being born within us, if we but let it. We stand at a new doorway, awaiting that which comes, daring to be human creatures, vulnerable to the beauty of existence, learning to love. Come, let us worship together.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing What Wondrous Love.
The DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church mission statement calls us to who we are. Please join me. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. Our vision statement is a statement of who we wish to be. Please join me in our vision statement. We strive to boldly enact our values Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week we share our joys and concerns. This week our heart is with the people of Venezuela after the devastating earthquakes that they experienced. Even when the cares of the world weigh on us, may we find joy in our connections with each other and in the pleasures that life holds. Let us care for one another and for ourselves in all the ways that we can. As we hold each other in our hearts and minds, with all our joys and all our sorrows, whether spoken or unspoken, let us join together in a moment of meditative prayer.
Let us take this moment to just center ourselves as a good people we are. And you can take a deep breath in and just sigh it out. Let's try it one more time. It feels so good. Take your prayers to your beautiful heart, deserving of love. You can even place your hand there on your heart. Your beautiful heart that's given so much to our beautiful world. Concentrate for a moment on all the people here connected to us in this room, over Zoom or elsewhere. Our families, our loved ones. To all the people of Venezuela, may they be blessed. To all the people where there is war, hunger, pain, send your love. In this last moment of silence, feel free to make any prayer you'd like to make. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Blessed be, for you are blessings to this world.
It is time to gather, and I'd like to invite all the kids and young at heart to come up and join me for the telling of a story. Come on up. Hi. How many of you know of the story of Humpty Dumpty? Can anybody tell me the story of Humpty Dumpty? Yes.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. I forgot the rest.
And then what happened? So Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Well, so it ends up that he did get put back together again, and I'm going to share with you more of his story. Now, what type of character is Humpty Dumpty? What is he portrayed as? As an egg. So, my story today is titled After the Fall by Dan Santat. This is the story of Humpty Dumpty and how he got back up after the fall. Here we go. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. And then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the King's doctors at the King's County Hospital managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things, like the best kinds of cereal that were on the high shelf. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing the ladder. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. And then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. My plane flew over the wall and landed on the other side. I almost walked away and left it there. But then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd miss. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up and I didn't look down. I just kept climbing one step at a time until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully, you'll remember me as the egg who got back up and learned how to fly. Life begins when you get back up, and this is what happened after the fall. Life begins after you get back up. Let's sing to the children. Thank you for coming up.
Maya Angelou wrote, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good." The giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community and how we live our values in this world. Each Sunday, we offer our financial gifts to both this congregation and to an organization that gives life to these values and makes a difference in the world. In June, our special collection benefits Youth Outlook of Naperville. DuPage UU Church has a long history with Youth Outlook, with representation on its board in the early years and now offering continuing support. Youth Outlook is the first social service agency in Illinois solely dedicated to the support of LGBTQ+ youth, offering drop-in centers for youth, parent support, and community education. This truly unique organization in our area provides a support network for LGBTQ youth and for parents. As we pass our offering plate, know that it is a vessel that connects us to each other through our gratitude and generosity. So give freely of your thankfulness and abundance that our values can forever take hold in this world. Our reading today is Hope to Sin Only in Hope of Waking Up by Alice Walker. Hope never to believe it is your duty or right to harm another simply because you mistakenly believe they are not you. Hope to understand suffering as the hard assignment in school you wish to avoid, but could not. Hope to be imperfect in all the ways that keep you growing. Hope never to see another, not even a blade of grass, that is beyond your joy. Hope not to be a snob the very day love shows up in love's work clothes. Hope to see your own skin in the wood grains of your house. Hope to talk to trees and at last tell them everything you've always thought. Hope at the end to enter the unknown knowing yourself, forgetting yourself too. Hope to be consumed, to disappear into your own love. Hope to know where you are, paradise, if nobody else does. Hope that every failure is an arrow pointing toward enlightenment. Hope to sin only in the service of waking up.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Building a New Way.
We are building a new world. We are, oh yeah. We have to build a new world. That's on us. Otherwise, it's just going to stay the same. Because these are trying times, my friends. It's so easy to go into those endless cycles of doom, scrolling from one painful news story to the next, to the next, to the next. If I were to take out my phone right now, up they would come. Another terror tweet, another right eroded, another vote stripped away. Swipe again. Up comes the orange guy. Swipe again. An Iranian Lego video. Swipe again. People in dire straits. Swipe. Hope seems lost. Swipe again. The entire night seems lost in a sleepless blur of swipe, heartbreak, swipe. It's hypnotic, this news cycle, isn't it? The social media cycle, trying every day to lull us into a daze that practically screams to us that all is lost. But I tell you, my friends, I tell you this, all is not lost. The annals of history show us this. All is not hopeless. Hopelessness does not remain, and hope, I believe, is essential if we are to build the world we wish to see. For without hope, humanity has a hard time moving forward indeed. Without hope, we may turn the other way and try to just forget about the problem, or perhaps maybe even make the matters worse. Researchers have actually chalked this up to a paradigm for why this occurs. So let's just say something horrible has just happened, a situation occurs. We might at first feel hopeful that all will be okay, all will be okay. But if nothing happens, that hope can turn into rage, then despair, then even apathy. Like a man throwing more trash into an already polluted world. But I promise you, there is another way, a more hopeful way, which is actually supported by science. So let me share a story with you, which can stand for any of our world's most urgent needs. It could be social justice, the environment, hunger, homeless cats on the street, whatever it may be, don't worry. And this story does start off pretty sad, but it will get better. So to me, this looks like a hellscape. It is once very fertile, beautiful land that had been farmed for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Today it's dry and barren because of what modern humanity did to it. Modern humanity degraded the land to the point where there simply wasn't anything left to support life. The animals were gone. The birds were gone. The people mostly gone too. And the situation was only getting worse. When it rained, every so often it still rained, the soil and sand covering those hills that you see would rush down into the river below because there's nothing left to catch that rain from falling. No more trees, no more vegetation. So everything would fall, all of that land would fall into the river, and the river would rise up, and everyone below that place, downstream, would be flooded out. Perhaps even lose everything. The floods carried away homes, farms, habitat, and lives downstream. It was an all of this. It was an anger cascading problem that humanity sparked, a wicked problem causing endless cycles of devastation that humanity sparked, resulting in poverty, the loss of lives, and pain. Hopeless, one might think. Hopeless as we scroll away, hopeless as the next story appears, and we cry out at the hopeless state of our beautiful world till we risk only feeling nothing inside. But what if we stayed on this picture? What if we sat here and stared at it a little bit longer instead of just scrolling away? What if there were an answer that could make this right again? What if? Researchers looked into wicked issues like this, the seemingly unconquerable threats to our world, to our human rights, to our freedom, to life itself. And they found hope. And that hope can be found in just that. Hope. Hope can be found in hope. And that might sound trite, that I'm saying that hope is in the hope. But let me shed a little neuroscience on this because I love neuroscience, and it begins with an exercise. So may I have your permission to lead you through a brief visualization? Would that be okay? Okay. This was inspired by Dr. Chan Hellman, the founding director of the University of Oklahoma's Hope Research Center. They actually have a Hope Research Center at the University of Oklahoma. And as part of this exercise, I'd like you just to look deeply at this image. Feel it. Imagine yourself there. Take another deep breath in. Feel free to sigh it out. Relax into your seat. Let yourself soften a bit. Your face soften. Your body soften. Your front, your belly. knowing you're held and safe. And now, if it feels right to you, feel free to close your eyes or otherwise remain looking at the image. Imagine if you lived here and you could no longer take the devastation around you. You remember how beautiful and green this area once was, and you know it can somehow return to that state. Let your imagine take over as you and those you know imagine up a goal to restore the desert into the green place it had been. Now, imagine that you've transported yourself to the same place 10 years from now, but it's bright green. You see. Green, beautiful lighters perhaps, farmers perhaps, educators. Who did you and your friends summon to help revitalize this part of the world? What steps did you take? Now I invite you to come back to presence and take another breath in. And sigh it back out. You can roll your shoulders a little bit. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes at your own pace. How did this feel? Yeah, sometimes for some folk, an insight or two might arise, perhaps a tiny glimmer of hope that something might be possible to make this better. Sometimes it just takes a little more time. Take another look. Imagine if all were okay. And now, I'm going to show you a 1-minute video. And I ask everyone to please look at it intently. Don't look away. It's okay. It's only 1 minute long. It will go so fast. And if you look down, you'll miss something spectacular. So, are you ready for it? Okay. Tech guys.
When I first filmed Mr. Ta Fu-Yuan and his colleagues back in 1995, I had no idea this initiative could achieve such dramatic results. The effort that people put into converting their slopes into terraces has resulted in a marked increase in agricultural productivity. The higher yields are directly related to the return of natural vegetation in the surrounding ecological land. Now when it rains, the water no longer runs straight off the slopes. Trapped by the vegetation, it sinks into the ground where it is retained in the soil, taking weeks and months to gently seep down and irrigate the fields and terraces below.
Breathe. Breathe for a moment. That was because of hope. Hope in action. That was because of hope. The entire area is over 35,000 kilometers. It's about the size of the Netherlands, big. And get this, guess how long it took to restore this, all to this? 10 years. 10 years. People did that. People did that. Hope did that. With hope turned into vision, that turned into dreams realized. Breathe. Imagine what else is possible. When the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood at the reflecting pool, he had hope. He had a dream. He had a dream, transferred from heart to heart, hand to hand, until hope became a verb. When the monks who walked this winter, some of them barefoot, clear from Texas to Washington, D.C., they had a vision to gather hearts and minds in the name of peace, in unity. They had hope when things seemed so hopeless, and hope transferred through love from person to person until hope itself became a verb. All is not lost, my friends. These are just some stories of hundreds. Hope, vision, success. It reminds me of when I was in my 20s. I was a PBS documentary producer. It was 1,000 years ago now, but I'll never forget a special we produced. It was called The Science of Star Trek. So, I was giddy over that one. Was I a fan? And as part of this, we visited the MIT Robot Lab. We visited the Department of Energy, NASA, other amazing sites. And everywhere we went, I couldn't believe it, Star Trek posters. They were on the doors of the scientists, inside of their offices, sometimes in the labs of all the different Star Trek characters. Amazing to me. I was with my people. And what was amazing to me also are the stories that the researchers told me of how as kids they had fallen in love with Star Trek's vision for the future, its hopeful vision. It took over their imaginations, compelling them to become innovators themselves. They hoped to take what was in science fiction and make it into reality land in their lifetimes. Because they had hope, they worked hard, they came together, and countless technologies have since emerged, including our tablet computers. Now we have translators on our phones, even communicators. Our phones have gone past the communicators that Kirk had. Ours are better than Kirk's. Imagine that. And so I feel compelled to share these stories of hope with you and to share a formula for how I believe hope can become reality. It's a secret for making change. And I feel compelled to share this because I realized after doing studies on hope itself as a science, that I had been actually doing some of this throughout my career in social justice. And I actually created a social movement that wound up touching millions of lives in India by using a formula just like this. It's called Snyder's formula. Snyder's theory of hope. There it is right there. And it was developed by a professor of psychology who edited the Oxford Handbook of Positive Psychology and many, many other books. His name was Charles Snyder. And here's how he says we can make change in this world. First, we start with a goal, like a goal to rejuvenate that fallow land, or the goal to win back voters' rights, the goal to ensure a free and beautiful America, to save the lives of cats, perhaps, to knit 100 shawls for the homeless, to sing for people in the hospital. Whatever it might be, start there. Number 2, imagine that pathway for realizing that goal, like we did in our visualization. Visualize deeply who's accompanying you. What resources do you need? What motivating words would you speak or would others speak? Imagine. There's a book called Hope Rising, where the authors say, one way we found useful is to start with a goal and work backwards in time. And we can look at this from a different perspective. I think a lot of folk who are my age and up will get it. How can this problem be MacGyvered? and for those who are younger, how can we figure out something crazy to make this happen that maybe hasn't even been done before? In Hindi, there's actually a word for this. It's called jugaad, which means problem solving through clever, even off-the-wall solutions that you may have when you have little or even no resources at hand. Jugaad, like the Apollo 13 astronauts who were stuck up there with their lives at stake, who somehow solved the seemingly impossible problem that made their lives so tragically at stake, while stuck in a tiny capsule floating far above the earth. All they had around them were a few bits and bobs, like paper, little pieces of cardboard, little pieces of tape. It's all they had to save their lives. And they harnessed the power of their minds, the power of hope. No long meetings, no endless sessions of fretting. They didn't have time for that. No fancy equipment needed. The astronauts just grabbed whatever they had. They used their powerful minds and combined their imaginations and saved their own lives. Jugaad. That brings me to the third leg of Snyder's theory of hope. It's agency. Agency. It's the belief that you can make the change, that your goals are worthy, and that your goals are achievable, that all is not lost. Agency is what enabled those astronauts to save their own lives. In other words, they believed that through their actions there could be hope. Imagine what would have happened if they just felt hopeless. So researchers finally came up later with one more additional part of Snyder's theory of hope. And here's where church comes in. Here's where community comes in. The component is we power. We power. It's how we hold each other up, how we share together, how we connect together, how we serve together. We power. It's in and of itself an engine that turns hope into a verb rather than simply a word. It's the power that can take a few pieces of cardboard and tape and turn it into a life-saving machine. It's a power that combines the power of others, from church to church, from community to community, from school to school, whatever it might be, nation to nation, until a better way is built. We power. Oh, believe it, hope can become a verb. Believe it. Yes, things are bad out there. Yes, the news cycle can resemble a nightmare, but remember, all is not lost, my friends. Amen. Can I hear an amen? Amen. All is not lost if we put the power of hope into the power of action for the world we all wish to see, for the new way we wish to build through the fire of our own commitment. May hope be yours, your verb, your future. And in so doing, may you become bestowers of hope yourself. May it be so. And in that spirit, I now invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing with me and believe with me hymn 1028, The Fire of Commitment.
Lighting
Amen, amen. Let our future begin now. It begins now. And so I end with a poem by Marge Percy called To Be of Use. The work of the world is as common as mud. Blotched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that once held corn are now put in museums. But you know, they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. May you be blessed through the power of hope, and in turn be a blessing to our beautiful world. And with that, I say Hariom, Ashe, Salam, Shalom, Amen. Blessed be.
Before we extinguish our chalice, I wanted to acknowledge our flowers today, which is in honor of the 26th anniversary on July 2nd of Keith and Mary Beth DeVolt. And now please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish the light